Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Connie Ngumalo, and I am going to be the host for tonight. Africa Day, 25th of May. Let me hear the Africans celebrating. All right, I'm hearing the Aussie celebration. I want to hear the Africans ululating. Are there any African men here today? Let me hear the African men whistling. All right. At this particular moment, we're going to have a presentation. The African flags are coming through, and then we will have, I would invite everybody to stand up as we have the Australian national anthem as well in the process. So the African flags are going to come through, and then the Australian national anthem, it will be in procession. I think our children, our African children, are getting themselves organized. All right. Let's welcome the children of Africa as they present the African flags. All right. Give them a clap offering as Africa comes on stage. If you see your flag, you need to ululate. If you see your flag, you need to ululate.
You're a good soldier, choosing your battle. Pick yourself up and dust yourself off and back in the saddle. You're on the front line, everyone's watching. You know it's serious, we're getting closer, this isn't over. The pressure's on, you feel it, but you got it all, believe it. When you fall, get up, oh, oh, and if you fall, get up, cause this is Africa.
One more time, give them a clap offering and some ululation. 25th of May, Africa Day celebrations. Welcome to the celebrations in WA.
Listen to your God, this is our motto. Your time to shine, don't wait in line, y vamos por todo. People are raising their expectations. Go on and feed them, this is your moment, no hesitation. Today's your day, I feel it.
This is Africa being represented.
Believe it. If you get down, get up, oh, oh. When you get down, get up, hey, hey. Mina sangalewa. This time for Africa. Mina, mina, eh, eh. Waka, waka, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa. Anawa, ah, ah. Samina, mina, eh, eh. Waka, waka, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa. This time for Africa.
Where are the African people? Well, where are the Africans? Oh, this is Africa. Oh, yes.
Samina, mina, eh, eh. Waka, waka, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa. Anawa, ah, ah. Samina, mina, eh, eh. Waka, waka, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa. This time for Africa. Jungle, eh, eh. Jungle, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa. Anawa, ah, ah. Jungle, eh, eh. Jungle, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sangalewa. Anawa, ah, ah.
Thank you so much. At this particular moment, if we may stand for the national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth fertile. Our home is God by sea. Our land abounds in
Give it up for Australia. Thank you so much, Australia, for taking care of these Africans that are here today. Before we continue, I would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we meet, the people of the nation, and I pay my respects to the elders past and present, as well as to the emerging leaders. And I extend my respect to Aboriginal and Torres Islander people who are here today. Thank you. All right, moving forward, I would like to call the executive president to come forward. Dr. Casti, if you could come forward. There's been a soccer tournament that happened and there's celebrations happening outside.
Mastercraft on the beat.
Okay, we have our Uncle David here. If you could come forward and continue with the welcome to country.
Mastercraft on the beat.
Original Mr. Flavor. Every day na party. Kaya Wanju. Nanjurup Nuna Jinning, Nanjurup Nuna Warking. Hello and welcome. I'm happy to see you all here today. Also happy to be speaking with you today. My name is Nick Abraham and my family connections are Abraham, Bennell, Humphrey, Hume, Mippy, Worrell, Nettle, Harris. And we're connected to many parts of Noongar country. Wajak, which is the Budja we're standing on here today and sitting on here today. But also connected to Ewart, which is to the north of Wajak. Also to Ballarong, which is to the east of Wajak. To Wilman, which is to the southeast of Wajak, Binjarup, which is to the south of Wajak, and Wadandi, which is to the south of Binjarup. I also take this opportunity to acknowledge my Kora Martin Gullias, my wife and in-laws, who are a very important part of our social fabric. And they're also connected into Wilman, which is southeast of Wajak, Kanang, which is southeast of Wajak, Goring, which is southeast of Kanang, and Menang, which is south of Goring, which goes all the way down to Albany. I also want to take this opportunity just to acknowledge the other parts of the Noongar Nation. Amagu, which is just north of Ewart, Naginaki, which is east of Ballarong, Wadjuri, which is east of Wilman, Nunga, which is south-southeast of Goring, which goes all the way down into Esperance, and Bibbulmun, which is further down south. I'll have a Bibbulmun as a connection throughout Noongar country, and you may hear Noongar people talk interchangeably between Bibbulmun and Noongar. That's because of the ancient and still current connections. So, Niji Noongar Budja, Niji Noongar Warranking. This is Noongar country, this is a Noongar language that I'm speaking. Koronala Kubang, Na Noongar Mort Noongar Bridia, Korona Janat Monituan Jinning, Norit Jinning. So I'm just acknowledging my ancient country and also the ancient language, but also acknowledging the elders present and emerging. But also acknowledging of being here today. Being here today, they give me an opportunity to tell you about the history of this country that you may or may not be aware of. And the story I'm going to tell you about is not about blame. It is not about shame, but it's about understanding of the country we're standing and sitting on here today. So, Nunukot Mort, Dima Marm Night, Noongar Bridia Kora Kora. We Noongar people, not only through the oral tradition, has passed down from our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our mums, our dads, and the Noongar bosses from long, long ago. And when they're telling us these ancient stories, they're usually telling these stories around the campfire. And when they're telling us these stories, there's a few little things that they don't tell us, and we don't pick up on them until we get a little bit more mature. But they usually tell us about our country, our culture, our people have and purpose. And to just make it a little bit easier for you to understand, the very first thing they teach us about is our mort. Now, mort is family. Mum, dad, nan, pop, uncle, aunties, brothers, sisters, all the extended families and the different levels of relationships and responsibilities to each and every one of those. But it's also one of our laws of who we could and couldn't marry. We couldn't marry close bloodlines. We had to keep our genetics strong. And we have a system in place that's still functioning today of how we maintain our bloodlines and keeping them strong. Now, there's a modern word for that, and it's called eugenics. If I remember on this journey, I'm going to come back to that word eugenics. Next, the old fellows taught us about our culture. What is culture? I'm going to give you a couple of definitions what I think culture is. You may agree, and you may even add your own. For me, culture's about values. Culture's also about language. And through that language, it gives you your identity and belonging and beliefs and spirituality. So if you think about that, language, identity, belonging, belief, spirituality, there could be a modern word or two for that. Faith or religion. So Nyunga, like many Indigenous cultures all around Australia and the world, have our own form of faith or religion through our culture. Next, the old fellows taught us about our Cardigan. Now, Cardigan's our knowledge system, where the old people understood and knew the relationship between the sun, the stars, the moon, the plants, the animals, the waterways, and the seasons, and how we live sustainably in those environments. Next, the old fellows taught us about our court win. Court is the art, win is the spirit. And the old people taught us about our foods, our medicines, our sites, our ceremonies, and our social interactions and responsibilities. And they knew when we were out of balance, physically and emotionally, how to use this system to bring us back into balance. And that was a health system. And the old people taught us that these key elements are connected to our buja, our country, because they knew if we look after country, country would look after us. And this one here represents our Britiers, our elders, because it was our responsibility of overlooking this system and making sure that our laws and our customs were never broken. That system was functioning for many thousands of generations on this land, where the sun would always rise in the east and set in the west. The moon would eventually rise in the east and set in the west. And when our old people pass and they leave this place, they go to the next part of the dreaming, a place called Karrinyup, which is over the west where the sun sets. So for many thousands of generations, something strange happened in the early 1800s. Some people came down the Derbyl-Yurigan, and they came along, and they saw this system, and they ignored this system, and they imposed new laws and customs on my people. And immediately, everything that was important to us, all of a sudden was illegal and outlawed. And immediately, we had disruptions to our elders and our Britiers and our governance system. We had disruptions to our mort and our families. We had disruption to our culture and our language. We had disruption to our knowledge system of how we looked after this land. All of a sudden, we had no say in how our land was being divvied up. And we had disruption to our court and our health system. Of course, we couldn't get access to our sites for our ceremonies, our foods, and our medicines, and our social interactions and responsibilities. Because all of a sudden, no disrespect, but all of a sudden we were trespassing on Crown land and private property. And these key things disconnected us from our buja. And that's where my community is today, picking up the pieces of this disconnection and this disruption. I just want to acknowledge that sometimes people acknowledge this disconnection as colonisation. I just want to acknowledge that colonisation happened in many parts of the world long before it arrived here, and long after it arrived here. In fact, it's happening in the world today. You only have to look at the morning and evening news to see where it's happening in other parts of the world. But I can only talk about the impacts colonisation had on my country, my culture, my people, our values, responsibilities and purpose. So despite all this recent disruption, my people's spirits are still here. Despite all this recent disruption, our spirit stories are still here. Despite all this recent disruption, we are still here. Throughout this disruption, many others have come. And my ancestors will be angry with me if I don't tell you the real history of this country that you may not learn in our education system or anywhere else. And I just want to say, just let those good spirits walk with you while you're here on Nyunga country, and hopefully help you to open your eyes and your history and your head and your heart to understand and appreciate some of the commonalities that we share. But unfortunately, my people are still struggling for acceptance and recognition in my own country. And hopefully, we can open other people's eyes up, their hearts up and their ears up to understand, so that they can start to walk with us, so that we can create a better tomorrow. Not only for my people, but for many other Australians that are living in this country today. So I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity today to talk to you on National Africa Day celebrations. And I hope I just give you a little bit of an understanding of the commonalities that we share then hopefully we can walk that journey together so that we can understand and we can continue these celebrations as a whole nation. So thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much for giving us an insight into Indigenous history. We really appreciate that. At this particular moment, I want to make an announcement. As I told you, there was a soccer game that was being played outside. And after the finals, the winners are Kenya with 2-0 against Burundi. And I'll leave Dr. Casti to continue with that. And we've got our number 3, Cameroon with 6 and Togo 0.
Thank you very much. I think we are requesting the whole team to come in quickly. And as they come in, we'll be told the ones who have won. And thank you very much. As the team comes, I want to welcome all of you, and I want to pay my respects to the owners of the land in which we are meeting, pay my respect to the elders, past, present, and emerging. And I want to say that Africa 2024, it's here with us, and I want to recognize the presence of our minister, Minister Booty. Thank you very much for sparing time to come. In your busy schedule, you found time to come to be with the Africans. We appreciate that, and we love your commitment. We love your support. You have supported us inside out. I think we've enjoyed your support, and thank you very, 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 very much. Yeah, we have also our MP for Mirabuka. Is our sister from the other mother. She is always with us wherever we go. Thank you very much for being there for us. We really appreciate that, and you're taking care of us at Mirabuka. We know that if there's someone we can call, you're there for us. Thank you very much. Sai, you are one of us. Thank you for being there for us, and we appreciate that. And all the calls and all the support you've given us, we really appreciate that. We have no words to express for David Mikla. You have been one of us. You are white in the skin and dark in the inside. We really, really appreciate that. Yes, through David, we have gotten the sponsorship from Curtin University, and we are very grateful to Curtin University for the sponsorship. We are grateful to OMI for the sponsorship of this event, and thank you very much for doing the welcome to country, our brother from the other mother, our father. We really appreciate that. To all the community leaders, John Achiek, Jeff, and all the community leaders present, Ndotai from Nigeria, we appreciate your presence. And I recognize your presence as we celebrate the winners of the soccer team, which was outside. And as we recognize that, I'll ask the minister to come forward to present to the winners the trophy and the run-up. Connie, the MC, please.
Kwanza moti sikia mwanzo naishitwa kijoti naumia moyo wangu ti unakimbia woga wa manoti nahofia sasa chini ya chakanani unaumia sana.
Okay, so that's the presentation to the winners. Kenya, give it up for Kenya.
shake belly. What is up on tell belly? Deliver like I get belly. Them say I dey go sell out. Them say I dey go sell out. Let's go to Fortuna. I go make you Joe Dada. Say you get the power. Sweetie passy, amala.
All right. That is our team.
Is this working? Hello? Can we please put our hands together for the champion country, Kenya? Where?
Oh, Susanna, I hope you're happy now. I see you flexing on the ground with your sponsor. Susanna, I hope you're happy now. I see you change your skin color and your hair is longer now. Now kuona bali hapo kando ya Champs-Elysees, ukitesa na kamini yeah. None of my business. And I see you in London, silicone on your palm, shaking what you come to Kenya. On your worst behavior, Susanna
Ati black chocolate ni fine melanin bana kutoka nikapate. Kanapenda kenye mi wanapenda, so kanapenda toto chupa na haga nono. Like a boss. Tenda wema pewa tako, kwangu ni clean so butafagia kwako. Nikuje ndogo juu takula kushoto, usitake kuona na my dirty version. Nilijam nikasample mali yako, manzi yako na mpango wako wa kando. Tunapiganga trio sam, tunakusengenya ni Mr. Last Guy. Manzi yako ashanipenda, mtoto wa nyumbani, toto la home. Kenya girl kanapenda ganji, she ain't a home. Bad bitch kwa hii party, vibe niko top kwenye flow. Joka na perform.
Yeah, this is how I enter. My tracks left, right, and center.
Hi everyone, my name's Tony Buddy. I'm the Minister for Citizenship and Multicultural Interests. It's absolutely fantastic to be here. Mr. Abraham, thank you for the welcome to country, and I pay respects with the traditional owners that Curtin University sits on, which is the Wajak people, and pay respects to their elders past and present. Can I acknowledge my great friend and colleague, my Parliamentary Secretary and Member for Mirrabooka, Meredith Hammett, and shortly Minister Anderson will be arriving, and so will the Honourable Ayor Tuitt as well. Dr. Casti, thank you very much for inviting me and for everyone involved in organising this fantastic event, the African Day celebration for 2024. I can just see by the atmosphere and the exuberance that is here, it's going to be a great evening, and well done to the Kenyan soccer team for winning the soccer tournament or football tournament. This event doesn't take place with a lot of organisation and a lot of hours spent in putting this together. So can I thank the organisation, African Communities West Australia, the executive, for all the work that's been done, but not only for today, but for all the work that you do for the African communities that make up the African tapestry of Western Australia. All the various African countries that have residents in Western Australia, people have decided to make WA their home, you have brought such a richness to Western Australia. You are contributing, whether it's economic, in an economic manner, whether it's in a social, cultural manner, all part of this great society that makes up the great state of Western Australia. The Cook Labor government really appreciates what you do for the various communities in Western Australia and for the overall Western Australian society. You have many events throughout the year, as I know, many events, including today. But I would like to announce that I and the WA government, well, not really I, the WA government, is contributing $200,000 towards your amazing WA African Week, which will take place in September 2024. So the WA government is contributing $200,000. But also for this event tonight, through the Office of Multicultural Interests, we would like to make a donation of $10,000 to help alleviate some of the costs that is incurred by holding this event. So, Dr. Cassidy, can I present this to you? So, people, enjoy tonight. Have a great time. All the stores behind me are really colourful, shows the great entrepreneurial spirit of the African communities of Western Australia, and the food outside smells amazing. So have a great night. The WA government, the Cook Labor government, and I as the Minister for Citizenship and Multicultural Interests, and Meredith as my parliamentary secretary, and of course as a member for Mirrabooka, she's basically the member for most of the African communities of Western Australia. So have a great night. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Minister. At this particular moment, I also want to call another key speaker. Remarks from David. David, if you could please come forward. He's the Associate Professor, Dean Global, Africa, and Associate Professor in International Relations at Curtin Uni. Give him a clap offering.
Thank you very much, and thank you to Uncle Nick Abraham for that very warm welcome to country. I would also like to acknowledge the Whadjuk Noongar people as the traditional owners of the land on which Curtin University's Bentley campus here is built, and pay my respects to elders past and present. And also to acknowledge the very important contributions that Aboriginal staff and students are making to the university. I'd also like to acknowledge the Minister, Dr. Booty, who I think has just left, Honourable Ayor Makur Chouat, the member for North Metropolitan Region, Meredith Hammett, MLA, the member for Mirrabooka, Saeed representing the Office of Multicultural Interests, Dr. Kasti Nyaga Hughes, the President of the Organisation of African Communities in Western Australia, as well as to our two speakers later this evening, Dr. Kwadwo Aduse Asante from the Edith Cowan University as a senior lecturer there, as well as to Lewis Morris Christopher from the Society of African Australian Lawyers. On behalf of Curtin University's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Harleen Hayne, who's currently overseas and sends her best wishes, I warmly welcome you today to Curtin University to celebrate Africa Day 2024. My name is David Mickler. I'm an Associate Professor here at the University, and I also serve as the Dean Global for Africa and the Director of the Centre for Australia-Africa Relations. In addition to celebrating Africa Day today, we're also celebrating the first birthday of the Centre for Australia-Africa Relations, which we launched 1 year ago as a platform to build academic partnerships between Australia and the African continent, including, importantly, with the African diaspora communities here in Australia, which today count over 500,000 people in that diaspora. For the past decade, I've had the great privilege of working in close partnership with the wonderful Organisation of African Communities in Western Australia, including now as a member of the OACWA Advisory Board. As Curtin University, we're really delighted to partner again with OACWA to host Africa Day celebrations here at Curtin University because Africa Day is the annual marker of global recognition and celebration of African unity, liberation, and success. As a university that is deeply engaged with the African continent and its diaspora in Australia, we are particularly pleased to be hosting Africa Day here in 2024 because of the African Union's designation of 2024 as the Year of Education. And of course, the African Union has also designated the African diaspora as the 6th region of Africa, so integrating the diaspora with the work of the continent. I'd now like to very briefly share with you some of the recent academic collaborations that we have been developing with partners in Africa and in the diaspora. Firstly, through our campus, our African campus, Curtin Mauritius, our Australian and Mauritian academic staff have been delivering high-quality and accessible academic programs to students across Africa and the Indian Ocean region. Last month in Nairobi, Kenya, we launched the Africa Green Hydrogen Hub in partnership with Kenyan universities, Kenyan government, and one of the Australian companies based there. This hub will be a platform for collaborating in research, education, and training to support Africa's green energy transition. Last week, we concluded the delivery of the Australia Awards Africa Short Course in Climate Financing, with 25 participants from 14 African countries joining us here in Perth and then in Canberra to discuss innovative financial strategies and solutions for addressing climate change. Earlier this year, we partnered again with OACWA on the 3rd iteration of the WA African Women's Leadership, Empowerment and Development Program, which has now successfully graduated over 80 African community women here in Western Australia. And we look forward to the 4th version of this program rolling out later this year. And finally, we are leading a major national research project called African Impact in Australia. This project aims to challenge the narrative about Africans in Australia by demonstrating the significant contributions that Africans are making to the economy, to politics, and to the community here in Australia. We'll have a national online survey later this year that we'd encourage people to sign up for. And we're also inviting people to be interviewed to tell us your stories and your experiences and how you are contributing to Australian society. If you'd like to be a part of this project, we have a stall over here to your left. Please come and talk to us and be part of this really important project. So we congratulate our partners OACWA and the wider African communities here in Western Australia on Africa Day 2024 as we celebrate the diverse cultures and many important contributions made by Africans to Western Australia. And we look forward to a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you very much.
All right, can I please have some manpower to take this thing out? It's about to happen in this place. Manpower, please come and take this thing off the stage as we are about to have a presentation. Where are the African children? African children, please climb on stage at this particular moment. Thank you so much, gentlemen. African children, where are you? Where are the African kids? Anybody from Africa, children? Come here. Quickly, climb down, quickly. DJ, can you play me some music for the children? You know we always do this. There's the ones that know, they know. You see, they're coming down now. DJ, please play the music. Play the music, play the music. Where are the African children? Come on stage. Come. Yep. Oh, yes. Put in Clap hands for them. Thank you so much, children. Oh, yes. You see, you give them the stage, they enjoy themselves. This is what they learn to do from a young age. And it's exercise, getting them to burn all the sugars that they've been eating out there. Thank you so much, children. Clap hands for the children. All right. Oh, you're still here. Let's go. DJ, bring them out. Follow me.
Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Jerusalema, ikhaya lami, ilondoloze, uhambe nami, zungangishilana. Dawo yami ayikholana, buso wami awukholana.
Are you coming on stage? All right. One more time, DJ. Let the other lot come through and then we're done.
Buso wami awukholana.
See the soccer players there? All right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. African talent from the whole continent of Africa. All right. Calm down, guys. Thank you so much. Clap hands for our children. They did so well. All right. At this particular moment, I have another set of very interesting children. These ones were doing freestyle. The ones that are coming, they choreographed. From the age of 6 all the way to 25, we have Christians in creative arts. Give it up for Christians in creative arts.
Go on to my
never written a novel before. Was it going to be good? Was it going to be successful? I didn't know. But something was pushing me as it were. And that was what I wanted to do, to produce a story about my people, which was unique to them. It's never been done before.
King Achebe was more than just a colleague, faculty member, and teacher here at Brown University. He was a gift to the world, and his passing is truly a world historical event. He enabled us to reach the greatest heights of our humanity. His writing, his vision, and his presence was truly a gift to everyone here in Churchill House. Professor Achebe convened the Achebe Colloquium on Africa soon after his arrival. And over the course of 4 years, he assembled the greatest collection of artists, writers, intellectuals, and policymakers to deal with some of the challenges and opportunities facing the continent in our contemporary world. He was the only person that could convene such an august group each and every year here on the campus of Brown University. But he convened it not just to be a policy discussion group. More importantly, his vision was a vision of a totally transformed Africa and indeed a transformed world.
I'm a West African myself. I grew up reading, knowing about Professor Achebe. So when he came here, for me, it was really a sort of significant homecoming. We didn't expect Professor Achebe when he came here to be in classrooms every day, but just the idea that he was here on this campus, the idea that the person we could describe as, almost like the father of contemporary African literature, being here at Brown, the symbolic importance of his being here, I think has been appreciated by Brown students, the Brown community, and people all over the place.
It was as if we captured history and planted it in Churchill House on his coming to Brown. In light of his passing, we still have that history. His presence still permeates this building. And more importantly, his presence and spirit is still a gift to the entire world. Thank you, Professor Achebe. Thank you for the gift of your life and your spirit.
happening in the Eldership Council meeting. They've had to call an emergency meeting. John is joining us live from the Eldership Council. John, any updates on why the chaos? John, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I have you live. Viewers are watching. The leaders of Utopia have called an emergency meeting. Any updates?
It's been a chaos here for the elders. Some win, some angry. But I managed to speak with the leader for communities, social security, and equalities. He has responsibility for local government, community planning, housing, social security, defense sector. Viewers, Utopia is facing social challenges. The policy makers of Utopia are grappling with huge problem. As you can see behind me, the Council of Leaders are having a meeting as we speak.
We're solving the problem of government housing, social security. Utopia is doing their very best. Good roads, clean water, they have everything. I call on the Council of Elders this morning. I welcome you once again, Your Highness, Elder Wright, Elder Kosh, Elder Ham, and Elder Bella. Despite all our efforts to provide the basic necessity and more, we are unable to solve this crisis. We need an answer.
I stand once again with my proposal to pass the decree to go back to our old landmark, our values, those good old principles that guided our lives, the place of good character and moral uprightness.
I disagree. Trying to control us. We have a right to do whatever we please. We are Utopia. What is your definition of good character, good morals? Rubbish. In this day and age, there's no immorality. That's Stone Age, not this millennium. Elder Wright, have you forgotten your past and where you come from so quickly? You forgot it takes a village to raise a child. Sorry, Your Highness, but there's no village here. Everyone is an island here. They do their own thing.
Yeah, right. They do their own thing. That's why the crisis. Who can remember those good old days where you could knock at your neighbor's door to ask for sugar, for rice, even ugali? Your Highness, we need to remind ourselves of how great a community we were. Yes, it's time to do something. Act. Mentally, physically, socially, culturally, and spiritually.
Spiritually, yes.
SO38 specifies that we as elders make acknowledgement of country first, then read a prayer. That is the Lord's Prayer.
told in the past eldership meetings in June 2022 that this Lord's Prayer would no longer feature in the Eldership Council.
Now, Senator Han, I was hoping you had a real solution to the problems that we say plagues our population today. We tried to solve the crisis of suicide, drug and alcohol, domestic violence, gang violence, teenage pregnancy.
That's the problem. We need to quit trying and stop and listen. Go back to the old landmark. What worked for them then will work for us now. We need the blueprint, the structure, the plan that worked then. A man is limited by the knowledge in his mind, the strength of his character, and values upon which he builds his life.
Hey, boy. Hey, boy, now. Even give my
After the speech,
We will continue our prayers here in the Eldership Council. Let's keep connected to our roots, our language, to our spirituality. Stay true to who we really are. Your Highness, uqinisile. This is true. There is a man called Chinua Achebe, a great Nigerian author of Things Fall Apart. And he once said, I quote, "Nobody can teach me who I am. You can describe parts of me, but who I am and what I need is something I have to find out myself." We are born again. This is good. We have great stories of old, of our amazing past, and even our great future. A man who pays respect to the great paves the way for his own greatness. Chinua Achebe said that too, you know. Yes, he also said, if you don't like someone's story, write your own. Let's move on from our past. It is time to write our own story and stand out. Pagam, upagame.
Calling on God's people. This is a call to the people of God. We in a war, y'all. It's time for us to stand out. When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord will raise up a standard against him. I see the enemy coming in like a flood in our houses, in our churches, in our families. But what I don't see is the standard. People of God, where's the standard at? We in a war, y'all. It's time to stand out.
You tell.
Thank you so much. Give it up for Christians in creative arts. All right, what a beautiful presentation. It's a presentation with a message. I hope we all found something in it. At this particular moment, I would like to call our Honorable Amber Jade Sanderson. She's the Minister for Health, Mental Health, and member for Morley. Give a hand clap offering for her.
Thank you, and thank you very much for the very warm welcome. It's wonderful to be here today at Africa Day. I want to acknowledge Dr. Casti as the President of the OAC, acknowledge all of the communities and the nations and those community groups that make up the OAC and all of the incredible work that you do. To Curtin University, thank you for hosting. The Africa-Australia Centre is an incredibly important part of developing our links with such an important nation. I want to congratulate all of the incredible dancers. It's been a fantastic show and wonderful to see your culture and the joy and all of that light that you bring by celebrating your culture together and continuing to do that. It is a difficult time for many nations back home, and many of you will have family members who are in very, very difficult circumstances, and that is why it's so important to have the OAC to support communities back home, and to, of course, support new arrivals who come to Western Australia to make their life, to help their children on a journey of education and employment in Western Australia. And you all form an incredibly important part of our industries, in particular healthcare industries, which I have a very, very special interest in. So I am also very pleased to, I think, launch tonight the OAC Business Directory, which will help to promote African businesses. Now, I've got my instructions from Dr. Casti. Thank you. So before I do leave the stage, it is a great pleasure to launch the OACWA's latest initiative, which is the African Business Directory. And this publication is a result of the theme and direction of last year's Africa Day, which is building stronger African communities and unlocking the potential of Western Australia for a brighter future. The directory will be a valuable tool for connecting communities, for engaging community leadership, and for making it easy to find important information that will empower community members. I encourage businesses to take the time to register with OACWA to increase their exposure to potential clients in the business world in Western Australia and beyond. And I commend OACWA for creating the directory, which I'm sure will be of great use, not only to Western Australian communities from African backgrounds, but for all West Australians. It's a great pleasure to launch the directory, and congratulations to the OACWA, and continue to have a great night.
ZambiaMusicHits.com.
Okay, before we have another keynote speaker at this particular moment, I want to call Princess. Princess is just popping up from somewhere, full of energy.
Ungavumi, ungavumi, ungavumi. Ay, kalala, ufike umongameli bakhala ngami. Manje nezinto seziswana nami. Bathi bebangakholwa ngabanye utshwala bami. Kithi bangasohlala la.
Let's cheer her.
Utshwala ba, jiki jiki bangithole nomtshwala wami. Wetshwala bami. Umongameli uyisdakwa. Ngizoba ngamagala. Ama-case nama-cause avana. Vele sikhole kulo lo daba. Shibirim, shibiram, shibiribiram, she. Ivele kubuti, sipuzi njengapheli, pheli. Sobatelela umongameli.
Are you ready?
Olele bala. Maqedi bale yami. Mangingo mthwalo wami. Bayithethe ngala. Wethwalo ngala ngami. Endeni bakhala ngami. Bakhala ngami. Wethwala bami. Olele bala. Maqedi bale yami. Mangingo mthwalo wami. Bayithethe ngala. Wethwalo ngala ngami. Endeni bakhala ngami. Bakhala ngami. Wethwala bami.
Malume naje kubaraka sinyana silatheni laphi sithe mola kuthatha malume size wena uthatha maybe le majita kangilata malume naje kubaraka sinyana silatheni laphi sithe mola kuthatha malume size wena uthatha maybe le majita kangilata ay 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 sibane matwaleni bimba kupe ngambeni noma kwapeni ay twala bamabeli manje ay 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 ngithi sibane matwaleni bimba kupe ngambeni noma kwapeni ay twala bamabeli
Olele bala. Maqedi bale yami. Mangingo mthwalo wami. Bayithethe ngala. Wethwalo ngala ngami. Endeni bakhala ngami. Bakhala ngami. Wethwala bami. Twala bami. Twala bami. Twala bami. Twala bami.
Thank you so much, Princess. Give it up for Princess. I started to see my South African colleagues standing up. I thought they were about to dance as well. At this particular moment, I would like to call upon Dr. Kwajo. I do say Asante. He's a senior lecturer at ECU. I'll just give you an introduction of Dr. Kwaju Aduse Asante. He's a senior lecturer in social science at the School of Arts and Humanities at ECU, Western Australia. Kwajo has over 20 years international research experience, which focuses on communities, with 3 intersecting areas of research progress and interest: international development, outcomes, measurements in the community sector, and social development in Africa and Africans in the diaspora. Kwajo's work has made real impacts in the Australian community sector, in the public discourses on issues affecting minority communities in Australia, and in international development theory and practice. Kwajo has attracted research funding of over $1 million, including a Category 1 ARC grant, and has co-authored over 140 outputs, and has been cited widely and granted several media interviews in the last 10 years. Kwajo has had responsibility for almost 20 PhD supervisors on various topics on Africa. OACWA has contributed to communities in Africa, in Australia, and is the founder and executive director of Engagement Solutions, and leveling the playing field for academic success by minority backgrounds. Currently, OACWA serves on several advisory boards, including the International Organization for Cooperation in Evaluation, representing several national evaluation groups across New Zealand, Australia, Australasia, and the South Pacific. OACWA holds a PhD, 2 master's degree, a bachelor's degree. Oh, he is very, very educated. Let's give it up for Dr. Kwajo Aduse Sante.
If you know, you know. But if you don't know, you know.
Good evening. And I'm so glad and blessed to be here. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. First of all, I would like to acknowledge my Lord Jesus Christ, who has made it possible for me to be here and who has brought me this far in life. May I also take the opportunity to acknowledge the traditional owners on whose land we are gathering, elders present, past, and emerging. I also want to acknowledge dignitaries that have gathered here, elders of the African communities, invited guests, and members of the general community. I want to thank the OAC for the invitation, and particularly to Dr. Casty Hughes. Under your leadership with OAC, we're seeing a lot of progress, and I want to appreciate you and all that you're doing for our community. May I also not forget Keting, especially David Mikler, for all that you're doing for our community and also for hosting this event. All dignitaries acknowledged. Well, I don't have a lot of time, so I wouldn't bore you too much with speeches here. But I've got something to say. And I would like to please bear with me for the next up to 15 minutes to just give you some insights on a few things that are happening within our community relative to education. Education is very important because it is from education that we can have people move from poverty into some sort of social improvement and also become better people in society. And so when I was giving the invitation, I was giving a specific topic to address, which is advocating and building culturally appropriate education system to foster inclusive, lifelong, quality, relevant learning for Africans in Western Australia. I understand that this is loaded, and in fact, it would take maybe a master's program or a PhD program to address all the issues. With this in mind, I would like to acknowledge that I haven't got the time to be able to address and unpack all the issues as I should, or to be able to give it a bespoke, maybe a lengthy approach as much as possible. But I would like to just touch on key points as we go forward tonight. So, the education that I am addressing tonight is formal education. And I must acknowledge again that education is not one-sided. We can have formal education, we can have informal education, and we can have non-formal education. The type of education that I'm talking about this evening refers to education that is structured, that runs from primary, and in some cases from nursery, down to secondary, university, and it includes specialized programs for vocational, technical, and professional training. So this is the type of education that I'm talking about. Within our community as Africans, and because I've had the privilege of working with Africans in Western Australia in the educational space, let me give you the current picture of how education, formal education, looks like within our community. At the moment, currently, that is, as I speak to you, less than 20% of African undergraduate students who begin their university education finish. It gets worse when you go into communities that are coming from refugee backgrounds. In fact, 10% of Africans with refugee backgrounds and African youth between the ages of 18 and 30 transition to higher education within the first 5 years. This group also lags behind the general population in the undergraduate course completion. As I speak to you, in some universities in Western Australia, the students who are failing their units on a semester basis, 50% of them are Africans. As I speak to you, majority of publications on Africans within the education space is negative. It's either students not doing well, it's about people that are dropping out of school. Can I also let you know that in some states in Australia currently, children and young people who are in prison account for almost 20% of the total population in some states in Australia. 20% of young people in jail in some states, some of them, 20% of them are from African backgrounds. This is interesting when you look at the statistics and look at it from the point of view that Africans are only about 1.5% of Australia's population. So that tells you majority of our people are incarcerated. This is worrying, and we've got to do something about it. When Africans go to secondary school and in colleges, when they are about to finish, they have the pathway of either going general or go the ETA way. That will take them to university directly. I can tell you that the current statistics show that majority of Africans don't go the ETA way. They are discouraged from going to university. I happened to sit in one of those meetings where the decision had to be made on whether my first daughter, will go through the ETA way or the general way. Even as an academic, I had to fight and stay strong for my daughter because according to the school system, they felt that it was too hard, and I guess they were undermining the intelligence of the African child. Don't forget, the schools push our kids into the general area because they do not want them not to do well so that it brings their school reputation down. There's a lot happening in the educational space, and the Africans must do something about it. If you look at the problem, we can look at the problem on 3 levels. We can look at it on the personal level, that is the child not being motivated, or they have misplaced priorities, and these days you can see them walking around just not studying and just walking around. That's the personal level. That's the problem. We understand that. There is also the community level where we have parents being very busy, taking triple shift, taking all kinds of shit, so they don't have time for their kids. Can tell you that in the average African home in Western Australia at the moment, it's television that is raising children, and kids are also being fed from the fridge. That is a problem. The third problem, or the third level, is at the institutional level. This is the racism in schools. This is the discrimination that happens at the school level, where African kids are told that you can't go further, that your place is in the arts, or your place is just in sports. If a kid has a place in arts, or they have a place in the games or sports area, that is fantastic. Let it emerge organically rather than pushing them by just looking down on their abilities. Among all these problems, at the personal level, at the community level, and at the institutional level, the most wicked of all these, among these 3, is the institutional level one. Because OAC is trying. OAC is doing something about the community level. OAC is trying to motivate children. They have started a new program that acknowledges year 12s who finished. That's the motivation. At the churches levels and at various events, the community issue is also being addressed. The one that is being pervasive, the one that is being more wicked to deal with is the institutional level. And that is what I want to talk about tonight. That going forward in Western Australia, something has to be done for our kids, our young people within the educational sector. I want to tell you people that I'm here today because I took education seriously. Because I came from a family that, in fact, I was the first person in the entire family to earn a university degree, the first time, the first person to be able to do that. And it's changed my life, I must admit. Is university education for everyone? No. But if the kids are, or they have interest in vocational education, we need to push them there. We need to encourage them there to be able to do well for themselves. We recently did a study that traced African students who finished high school here in Western Australia from the year 2007 to 2017. We traced them to find out where they are. Friends and family, I was surprised about what I found. Majority of our kids who finished secondary school in that period, only less than 15% had done something with their lives. Majority of them were either in factories doing factory hand jobs or doing menial jobs, or they were just loitering about. This is a problem. Why? Because those people must eat too. And when kids have to find food to eat and they don't have a good job to do, guess what will happen? It is your car. It is your house. It is the burglary and the things that happen. Recently, I had the privilege of addressing the parliamentary, the Western Australia Parliament, and Honorable Ayok was there. And I was telling the same story to the honorable members that listen to me in the Parliament. That when we ignore African issues, we are ignoring our peace. We are ignoring stability, and we are ignoring community safety. And so, I have a few suggestions. First suggestion is this. Our kids are being demotivated to go to school because the educational system seems to be culturally inappropriate. Examples are set and cited only from Western backgrounds, even when African kids have conspicuous and apparent presence in the class. It is important to address this in the educational system. The Department of Education and government bodies also must play a role here. Currently, we don't have data from the Department of Education on the number of Africans that finish high school who go through the ETA way and the general way. If they are collecting it, they are reluctant to release that data for us. And that is something that must be addressed. Because it is at that level that we'll be able to encourage kids to pursue education. It is important for us to also advocate for the establishment of an African center in Western Australia that provides cultural education and community engagement. If we have a center that promotes education, that talks about cultural awareness and educates the community about education, and also be a place where schools can go to and learn more about Africa, it will be helpful. I keep saying to schools, because we have an organization called Excellence where we collaborate with OAC a lot. We go to schools and do advocacy. I keep telling a lot of teachers, I keep telling a lot of people who listen to our lectures that Africa is not one country. Africa is not one country. Africa is not one country. It appears that Afro-illiteracy is pervasive in the schools, and something must be done about it. If there was a center, and not just the establishment of the center, but a well-funded center that provided education on Africa, it will be very important and very helpful in promoting systemic issues and addressing systemic issues in education in Western Australia. Luckily, the OAC is doing a lot in this space. They have currently established the Mentor Me Reconnect program, which was a derivative of the Stop the Violence program that we started some time ago with ECU. That program is doing well. It has to be expanded. If it's great, then it must be extended to other schools as well. We thank Ketin for all that you are doing. If there's a way that we can expand that program to make it go wider in Western Australian schools, it will be very helpful. We want to thank the OAC for all that you are doing. The award system you have for schools, for kids who finish high school must continue. I'm almost finishing, but I want to make a few points as I finish off. I want to encourage the Honorable Minister, and I want to just appeal to the honorable members here and to our local government, big people that are gathered here. It is important for Africans to have access to data on Africans in school. At the moment, every attempt to obtain such data is torturous. You are pushed back and no one wants to listen to you. Well, if the educational system is so good and everyone is so good, why can't we release the data on Africans in Western Australia? Because that will give us the picture on the systemic issues and the systemic level to understand what is going on. I want to encourage Africans, and these days, my understanding and my conceptualization of who an African is not in the skin color, it's about the heart. And that is why I appreciate people like David Mikla, who have taken it upon themselves to do a lot for our community. Can we give him a round of applause tonight, please? That it is important to also address and challenge the negative narrative on Africans. Africans are doing well. Some of them are achieving higher scores in their ATAR, but this is never in the news. It's more about kids who do petty crimes. Those are the things that the media and some academics focus on because it fits the narrative and it creates moral panic. But our kids are doing well. And so I encourage all Africans that are in academia to speak and to talk positively about our kids who are doing well in school as they finish off. I want to tell every kid here, you have the potential to do it. We have to work as a community to address our issues. Whilst others may come from outside or external to be able to help us solve our problems, I want to tell us African problems must be led, must be planned, and must be solved by the African. It is very, very important. Thank you all for tonight. God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Kujo. All I can say is to the children of Africa who are in this place, go to school, get a degree. That's all I can say. You see me, I'm also going to school as well. So you go to school too. All right. Right now, I want to call the Congolese group of dancers to come forward.
Partir de l'île,
Eric Mandala. They wanna know me. Le patron propose avec la chou. Papa Benjamin Wenga. Patty Benz. Aïe.
Boss, Mama Dangote. Ricardo Momo.
Papa mo be my year, Papa mo be my year, Papa mo be my year, Papa mo be my. Anyata katura kuka kate aluba kate. Sibaye, yes, shozi matata. Chuma. Akuka kate alinga katura aluba kate. Sukuma, yes. Adolphe Mutebachi la mouina. Abangazuma.
Joseph Boussana.
La Babangazuma. Zodoa. Angeli Marane. Dar es Salaam Ngazuma.
Ankosha.
Diamond Ngazuma. Kinshasa Ngazuma. Kaya Musha Ngazuma.
Thank you so much. At this particular moment, I just want to call upon the President of OAC, Dr. Casti. If you could please come forward. President of OAC. Let's clap hands for us. She steps on stage.
If you know, you know. But if you don't know, you know.
Now you know. Now you know. If you know, you know. The big ballers in town. Now you know. Now you know. Never get boo. Forget what they know them.
My woman, my everything. My woman, I go be buy you anything. My woman, my everything. My woman, I go be give you anything. My woman, oh, my everything. My woman.
Thank you very much. As you've been told, my name's Dr. Kaste Nyaga Yus. I am the Executive President of the Organization of African Communities, the umbrella body for the 54 countries. I want to say that I am the second president of OAC and the first female president for OAC. I want to I've already recognized the round in which we are meeting, and I also mentioned a few dignitaries, but I want to say that dignitaries are coming, others going because of their busy schedules, and I want to recognize the two ministers who've come and Anna and Minister Booty. I want to recognize the director of OMI, Kate. Thank you very much for being very supportive, returning my calls in my busy schedule. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I want us to recognize my very, very own mayor, Linda. Thank you very much for coming. I reside in the city of Wanneroo, and I am very, very privileged to have my very, very own mayor here with us. We have councillors here. Evia, thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate that. I want to once again recognize Saeed for your support. I want to recognize David. You are very special to us. And I want to recognize our keynote speaker, Huajo. I know and you know that where I have kept you and the values we share, the many times you talk about the African child, the many times you talk about education, I am one person who advocates education for all, and especially for the youth and the women. I really want us to pull our socks. I'm coming to knock your doors, Sahind and Kate, so that we can see the education progressing. I want to recognize our past president, Joto Asama. Thank you very much for being here. I have got a very special person in my heart, and I want to recognize all the community leaders. But I've got one very special person who I would want just to come and say hi. Ayo, Honorable Ayo, you are one person. She is our first African member of parliament. Give it up for her. We can never be more proud. We can never be more proud than having our very, very, very own being a member of parliament, and we want to return her back. We are going to support you. We're going to support you. You're going to make us proud because good job, and we want you to continue doing it. Please let us support this lady. Let us support her. She has done great things. The Mentor Me Reconnect program you're hearing, she's at the center of it. Every women program we have, she's at the center of it. We want to support you because you are supporting us, not because you are African, because you are supporting us. Thank you. May you just take 1 minute and say hi to your people.
Thank you, my president, Dr. Casti, and Mama, Dr. Casti. Good evening, Africans and friends of Africans. Thank you so much for coming. I've been told I only have 1 minute, but I like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the land on which we meet. I pay my respect to the elders past, present, and I acknowledge all the community leaders, dignitaries, including mayor, ministers, councillors, community leaders. David Mikla is so special, I have to mention him. And all the businesses that are showcasing here. Please make sure you're going to check out the businesses behind here and purchase an item, because our businesses, they do struggle and we need to support them. So important. 1 minute, I've been warned by Saeed. Young people, I want to leave you with a message. I came to Perth when I was 15. I couldn't speak English. I didn't have a skill set. And I'm a member of parliament today with my accent. What excuse do you have as young people? So my message is to you, if you have a dream, you can achieve your dream if you connect yourself well. I connected myself to the party that aligns to my value, which is Labour Party. Connect yourself to a lawyer if you want to be a lawyer. Connect yourself to a doctor if you want to be a doctor. Please, our parents, make sure you integrate yourself into the system and support your children with the integration. That's my last message that I can leave here. There's opportunity in the system, and the world is changing every day. So please, help your children and help yourself, my African. So thank you. And I love you, Dr. Casti. You're a woman, and I like supporting women that would do the right thing in the community. And I'll keep supporting OAC, and I'll keep supporting my people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Give it up for her. Yeah, she is at the center of it, and she is there helping us. And I believe we have slides about OAC. If Racine, you can get those going. I am not going to talk much about OAC, but I believe that there is also a booklet which you can pick on your way, and you can know more about OAC. I'm sure you've forgotten something nice.
Protocol, someone that we haven't acknowledged because she's sitting at the back with their children, is the Nita Mascari. She's a federal member. We need to acknowledge her. So thank you, Ms. Anita, for always supporting the African communities.
Thank you very much. Thank you wherever you are. We acknowledge you. Thank you very much. OAC is the umbrella body for the 54 countries. We are an organization, a not-for-profit. We run many programs, as you have been told by the keynote speaker. We have our women program, AREAD program. David Mikla talked about it. We have our Stop the Violence program. We have our Mentor Me Reconnect program. We have our counseling program. And recently, we started the migration visa help program. We have got all these programs to help our African people do better or continue doing better. Last year, when we had Africa Day, we had similar settings, and we had a panel, and the result of that panel was visibility of the businesses. We implemented that, which is the result of our business directory. And please, if you have a business or you dream of having a business, jump into our website, give us your business details, and we shall be there to advertise you. And as you heard from our keynote speaker, we are looking forward to fundraising for an African center. So this time coming year, we will be having our own fundraising to raise funds to build our own African center. And we believe that we are able to do that because we are able, and we are resilient people, and we will continue being resilient. We have many other events which we hold. Africa Day is one of them. We have our own night which is coming in September, and we have very many other ways of helping you. Please jump into our website and get in touch with us, and we shall be able to help you in whichever way. I do not want to make a long speech because quite a number of the information is at your fingertips on Facebook, on our website, and on call. May we sit and relax and enjoy our day. This is our day. Africa Day is our day, not the other days. This is our day, and may you have a blessed and fantastic day. As I sit down, I want to say that we want really to empower our people, and as we start, we will be putting on Facebook a few clips of what we think is very critical for our people. One of them is we are partnering with the Legal Association of Western Australia of Africans, who will be giving us some tips on how to handle legal issues which we are not able to handle. And we are going to see that today. Have a good evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Casti. At this particular moment, I just want to call another group of young girls, young ladies, Seychelles dance group. Seychelles, are you ready? Come forward. Give it up for Seychelles. Thank you so much, ladies. Okay. All right. At this particular moment, I want to call another guest speaker. It's a presentation by Louis Morris Christopher of the Society of African Australian Lawyers Incorporation, Sully. Louis, please come forward. Whilst he's coming forward, let us just stretch our feet and do a dance. Do you know this song? If you were born in the 80s,
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Society of African Australian Lawyers Incorporated, and on my own behalf, I would like to recognize all the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Louis Morris Christopher is my name. I practice as a barrister and a solicitor here in the state of Western Australia. Next slide, please. We don't have a remote. I'm just trying to. Now, I've been asked to give a presentation on some few topics. That's police powers to search, arrest, detain, and persons' right to silence. We know very well we have come here as immigrants, and this country is being guided by laws. Our behaviors and life have been regulated by rules. And as such, we also have to educate ourselves how we can be able to conduct ourselves both in publics and in our houses. Now, as members of the Australian Society and as Africans, there are few things that I believe we do not know, and I would like to take us through some of your rights when you come across a police officer wherever you are. One of which is police powers to search. Police officers cannot simply come to your house as a person and start to search your house. Doing so by any police officer will be a trespass. If a police officer knocks at your door, send them away. Do not open a door because they don't have a right to come to your house, which is a private property. That will be an invasion of your privacy by any police officer, not only in Western Australia, but also in Australia generally. However, for any police officer to come to your private property, they will require what we call a search warrant. Search warrant is a written authority allowing police officer to enter any premises, and that includes your house. And it authorizes an invasion of premises without consent of a person lawful possession or occupation thereof. If a police officer has a a search warrant, you cannot refuse them to enter your house or your property. Normally, the processes are they will have to go before a magistrate or they will have to go before a justice of peace and justify as to why they require to search your house. Give a reason. Maybe there are drugs being planted or grown in that house. Or maybe there are weapons such as firearms and other dangerous things in that particular or on that particular property. They'll give a reason before a justice of peace or before a magistrate, and they will give them that document for up to 30 days. That search warrant should contain your name. It should have the address for which the police have to search, and it will have to have every detail of the person who have authorized and signed off that search warrant. So if a police officer comes knocking at your door, you ask them why they are there, and they tell you that they have a search warrant for you. Please check that it is your name. If it is not your name, it is a wrong address, send them away. Do not open your door or allow them to enter your house. If it is the correct name and the correct address, the correct date, then you allow them to enter. Such warrant only lasts for 30 days. If they have given it on the 1st of April and the police officers stand at your house the 24th of May, that search warrant would have already expired. Do not allow police to search your house or anything that is listed on that search warrant. Now, there are various acts of parliament that governs police officer intending to search a person's home, often with the intention of making an arrest. Police don't come to your house